make a large number of web pages in a short period of time, I usually get the same response. Wow, okay. Or, nobody can make that many web pages in that short a time. Sitting in a restaurant, Denny's it was, back in 2000, 99, 2000, I was sitting with an associate, and I'd mentioned that no one is going to believe that I'm capable of making 4,000 web pages in an hour. The people one booth over said, "Excuse me, did I hear you say you could make 4,000 pages in an hour?" And I said, "Yes." His response was, "No one can make 4,000 pages in an hour." My associate piped up and said, "Yes, he can." This video is to show not only that it's capable and possible, but to also offer what my programming skills are capable of doing. Before we had all these Windows operating systems that are out now, Windows 98 had just came out. At that time, the only method to connect to the internet was 56K dial-up, which also meant you needed fast pages. Office was around. It had database capability, but I didn't really like it that much. I wanted a program that would put all of my items on the internet. I was working with a company that I joined in with in 91 who had thousands of products. By 98, I wanted to put those products on the web. Their products were numerous, and to sit and build a single page for each one of them would be very time consuming. These are the images that I'd stored in my image folder at the time. Go a little quicker here. Lots and lots of items that I wanted to get on the internet. I looked into many different HTML editors and different things that were available, and I landed upon Coffee Cup, which had a few decent things, but I still didn't really like it. I managed to use a few of their JavaScripts that they had and modified them a little bit to get a little extra out of it. But I really wanted to put this video together to show not only am I capable of making a lot of web pages, but I'm also capable of programming. The first item I want to deal with is the first image that's going to show up on the first page that's made. Item 30850. Which will be that one. There's a GIF image, which is smaller, and a JPG, which is a little larger. Now, that's going to be the first item that shows up. What I have, this is from an updated program I'm working on. I can get rid of that. This is what my program will create, the directory where it'll store its information. As you see, it has a list, has the items, 30850 is right there, and we're dealing with only 100 items. Now, out of that, we're going to get probably 200 pages or slightly more. And it'll do this very quickly. Now, this is the site that it will create. Show you what it'll look like. This is one of the scripts that I have in here that every time somebody came to the page, it was always showing different categories. Butterflies, horses. This one pretty much stayed the same because it was toward the end. It didn't have anything to really randomize with, but the rest of them, it shows all the categories that are available right there on the index page. Each of these categories at some point would appear up in this area. Now, to show you the programming, I stuck an A in it so I could find it quicker. It's called New Eye Control, is what I named it. So in 99, I wanted a website, and I happened upon basic programming in '83. I found PowerBasic's 32-bit console compiler, which allowed me to do what I needed to do. UI control.bas, and that's the program, the coding for the program. It gets it to do what it does. Pretty large program, but to get the web pages, I hard-coded the HTML into the program coding. Here's part of it. HTML, that's for the index page. So, we're going to build the entire website. This is all the information with all of the HTML and scripts and things that are going to make the page. You can even see the cart situation here. It has a shopping cart. This was an actual website that I had on the internet back when I owned the domain name that I no longer own, using this program. Now, before I run this, I want to get rid of the information here. This was another thing. As long as I had the company list and my program, it didn't matter what happened to the data. If it got lost, destroyed, I'm also going to get rid of this one. It's the same list that we're going to use, but I have it stored somewhere else. So I have just wiped out my entire website. All of it's right there. Now it's gone. Most companies would freak out because they just lost all their information. They didn't have anything for backup. Uh-oh. For me, my list is right here. Only 100 items at this point. I have more, but for this demonstration, I'm only going to use 100 items. The full list can take up to an hour, hour and a half, and I just don't want to go that long. Alright, so we've gotten rid of our directories. We still have our image folder, all our images. So now I'm going to run the program that I developed in '99. As you see, the information over here, two 2002, 2001, 2000, 99. Yeah, there's one from 98. Anyhow, this ran from 99 all the way into like 2003, basically. So now, we want to watch what happens as we do this. Remember, we don't have our list here anymore. We don't have our file folders. But once the program starts, it will put our folders back in for us. Right there. And as you see, it's all empty. Nothing in it. Completely empty. Nothing in it. But we are going to have our list appear here. So we're going to stay right here for now, because once I put the list in, the program makes a backup copy to work from, rather than working from the original, which helps save data. Anyway, the program itself will put into operation. We're going to import from a list, number 2. And then we're going to look for that list, which we know doesn't exist on the C drive because I deleted it. It looks for it in the C drive, basically. Since it's not there, it won't find it. Bonk. Complete path and file name. I could do that, but I'm not going to because it's a little simpler the way I'm going to do it. So all I'm going to do is work it through. I don't want to look for it again. I don't want to add it because I still have it. All I have to do is... No, I don't want to put it there. still nothing else in here. Now, this is to show that the program is doing what it's supposed to. Now, since I made the program, I know all my files are going to be stored here, except for the index files going there. And the information, item information, will be stored in this area. So basically, this is the folder that I want to watch, because right now I'm going to build a few pages. All I have to do is say yes, because I'm accepting all the information as being what I want to place on the web page. I hit yes, and boom, I now have pages. 2, 4, 6, 7 pages. Basically 2 per item, which shows the item page and the item picture page. This is the page that appears when they click to view a larger image of the item. When they click on this, it takes them to that page. Basically, is how I want it to work. Sure, I can go home. I can go back to the index. You see there's only one category here. Just one category, so there's not much to look at right now. So we're going to add a few more items. Alright, 31068. We'll say yes. Boom. 31068 is now in. Is it taking too long to make the pages? Yeah, not really. So, now that you see that it actually is working and putting the pages in, I also set it up so that I could do my entire list all at once by saying yes to all, and then let it build. You won't see much happening here until the program's finished, because it's doing it so fast. The program works it quicker than what it actually can display in the folder. So as this is running through, it's building the pages, and it's done. That was 100 items. Did that take too long? I can do the same thing with 1,000 items or more. It just takes a little bit longer, not that much. Like I said, it could take up to an hour to 2 hours, depending on the size of the file. What we end up with is our complete website remade. Remember, we got rid of it. It's nowhere in sight, but we have it again. Made it that quickly. Updates, pulling things out of stock because they're out of stock, no problem. I added on to the program. Anything that was out of stock, I could pull it out in seconds. I'd have new pages, I could just upload them to the server, and I'd be set. I could handle it very quickly. So, what did we do? An entire website. What you saw in the beginning is back. Won't lose information this way, will I? Now here we see carousels, horses, elephants, and owls. Okay, we got different categories. Everything's functional. Let's take a look. Single items. Multi-items. All depend on how you want to look at it. This is simple because it's got the information, just like the single page would have. And I just need a picture. I want to see it larger. There you go. Was that quick? Now, if I wanted to do singly, which is set up a little different, it'd put the same stuff up, but in a different manner. And you don't have all that scrolling going on. So, I have an index, and I have another index. So I have 2 indexes. This one takes me to the single area, while this one takes me to the full list. Different things I got the program to do. Now, the source is just that much. That's what made my pages so fast back in 98, 99. People wanted to know how I made them so fast, and it was minor coding, plain and simple. The less you have, the faster it will go. So, view the page on this one. A little bit more to it. Kind of spread out. As for JavaScript and snapped it through, and it's all working. So, this was mainly to provide a visual for those who really didn't believe I could do 4,000 pages in an hour. Hopefully now they'll believe that what I said was true. It is capable. It is possible. Because they're all here. And every link is linked and working and completely functional, including our shopping cart. So what I wanted to do was to take that situation, because basically, like a lot of people will say, why would you? How come you're not using a database? Why are you doing nothing but web pages? That's too much to be putting on a server, which in actuality it was. It ran up right close to 500 megs. Okay, no problem. It still worked just fine, and I could still work and deal with it. But because of the progression through the years, just into better situations, I did manage to locate something else that could actually function, that I decided I wanted to try to put the program into. I had looked into PHP, but at the time it really wasn't able to do as much as it can today. So I ran across another program that would allow me to operate in basic programming. That I worked into this situation, basically trying to transfer the other program into the newer program to end up with a better method, doing the same thing as the other, creating our directory into this manner, where you had a visual graphical user interface that allowed you to do the same thing. Okay? Don't have it completely functional yet, not completely working right. It does work. I'm just not interested in showing that one right now, simply because we now have the PHP aspect that I'm looking into in this form. This is the easy PHP situation, which provides you with your PHP server software along with MySQL. It's just like I said, the extra coding to me just wasn't appropriate. People would say, why wouldn't you put it into a database situation that is much better and easier? And for me, I don't like restrictions much. And the extra coding, I've gone through a lot. HTML, CSS, HTML3, 5, all the way up through. There's so many different things. CGI, PHP, ASP. I like it simple. I like it so that it works. So looking into the PHP, finding out that PHP is capable of not only saving files, but accessing files now, to me sounds a lot better than having extra coding and extra programs to work with, that you have to sit down and actually work your way through to figure them out and get them to do what you want them to do. I found it much simpler to do it this way. So, this is what I've put together so far in PHP that I am working on to make into a better situation. This way I won't have so many web pages stored on the server. Basically, it'll be in file format that'll be accessed by the PHP and displayed. Here we have 9 items. It only displays 8 because that's all I wanted to put on the page for now. Okay, here's the images for those items. And I actually found out that developing a website in PHP without a database is actually a requirement from some of the colleges. I found somebody on the internet stating that they needed to make a web page in PHP, a website in PHP that doesn't use a database. And people are like, why? Well, if you ask me, this works pretty quick. So I decided to sit down and start it up. And this is what I came up with. The category will be apparel, with the 4 indicators here, 4 field names basically: item number, item description, price, and item price. The only thing I'm going to with was this. Now this is going to go quick. Sorry, was that too fast? Now, nothing's clickable yet. Nothing else is added yet. I've only just started into this. So, there you can see that I am working in the PHP aspect. The situation, since the page doesn't show you much, is the coding of the PHP within the page. That starts the PHP. This is some of the coding, which really isn't a whole lot to get to do what I'm doing, but there will be more as I go along. So that's pretty much the extent of the PHP. Just a little PHP and it puts out the page. If I view the source of the page, you don't see the PHP, which makes it difficult to show anybody that I am capable of doing PHP. There is no PHP showing on this page. None. Only the HTML. I like that aspect, because then they can't see how I do it. So that was just to show you a little of what I'm capable of doing as a programmer, as far as web design, web developing, and making web pages. And to offer a visual method for people to see that when I state I can make a lot of web pages in a short period of time, I can do so. You've seen it for yourself, and you've seen that it works. I hope you've enjoyed it, and who knows, maybe it could lead to a job offer for me. Hard to say.